Hey, Mr. Sanford, Carl Schilling here again with you. I wanted to discuss with you just a couple of things. I was looking into some companies. We looked into something that called Goosehead Insurance. Goosehead is a public company trading at $29 a share. It's GSHD, about 60 million in revenue. They did 135 million in premium. And now they are a franchise kind of operation. So I just wanted to show you that they're independent. They work in the property and casualty side. So I was just kind of displaying to you what kind of opportunity exists in the property and casualty side. But I think what you want to focus on is the broad scope of the insurance industry and not just simply having the same kind of model you have at EXP. At EXP, you have a captive model where realtors only have one option. They have to come into your pipeline and generate a huge amount of productivity. Now, you can have an insurance agency operation, and I got 3 other candidates for you when it comes to acquisition on the independent side, and that's one form of a business model. That's one pipeline. Now, we could turn that pipeline into maybe, to give you an idea, if you had 10,000 agents in the life and health side, and you had an average of simply 10,000 in annual premium, you'd have $100 million worth of overall production. The margins are 30 to 40%, so you'd have a $30 to $40 million shop, from that, not counting expenses. So gross revenue, gross income rather. Gross revenue would be the actual premium written. 1,000 agents at the 10,000 is a 10 million shop. That's 3 or 4 million. Those kind of operations are not, they're considered small and fractured. And those are the kind of things I think can be kind of rolled, like acquisition roll-up models. Okay. One thing that's not classically done, I have a lot of experience on the investor relations side. So I was on that side of the street for 5 or 6 or 7 years. So I understand, capital raise and these kind of things. In fact, in my track record, I've raised over $29 million in capital raises for small public companies. But what I'm saying to you is there's a unique opportunity. These people don't understand acquisition through equity. They don't understand that kind of opportunity or that kind of existence. Now, you've got some equity firms who happen to buy out financial planning operations. They don't so much buy insurance agencies. They buy financial planners. They buy registered investment reps. They buy those books of business from them because they have clients that total 100 million in assets, 200 million, even upwards into billions. There's quite a few financial advisors who have shops of $1 billion, 2 billion of assets under control. So the consolidation in that market has been going on for 4 or 5 years, okay? On the insurance side, it's a different animal. It's a different show. Most of the independent, bigger organizations, they're usually owned by an insurance company, so they're not really totally available to be bought out because they've either sold out 49, 50, 51% or whatever, usually below the 50% mark to an insurance carrier, okay? Now, that's not public knowledge because they don't want it public knowledge because they want agents to think they're totally independent. So, but there are independent organizations that deal with independent agents that are available for acquisition. And that acquisition can be done with very little cash. Most of the cash could be cash flow from the existing acquisition back and use of stock and some form of equity, for the future multiple of the acquisition. However, I just want to share with you that while that's one model, you can have that. You can have several, unlike the real estate side, you can have several verticals on this insurance side. On the property and casualty side, has nothing to do with life and health, just the property and casualty side. All of these shops, independent, they pay huge amounts of monthly. I talked to a local agent myself, went in and saw him about a month ago, and said, hey, listen, how much do you spend monthly? And his nut monthly was running him somewhere in the $6,000 to $7,000 range. And I told him, what do you think you could do if you could get that done somewhere between $200 to $1,000 a month? So he didn't even believe me. And I said, on top of that, you wouldn't have to just sell locally. You could sell nationally. So you could take all your offerings and go national with no brick and mortar. And he was very interested. So that's just one small independent carrier. These gentlemen have 500 franchisees, and they sell franchises on the same kind of model, but they have nothing distinctly like what's going on with Vibella. They have nothing like that. Now, they may also, I got a call into the CEO, but they may also like the model they have because maybe they want brick and mortar. I found that there are some scenarios where they're very hesitant to give up any brick and mortar. So it's not a one size fits all by any stretch. But I'm sharing with you, there are distinct verticals. You have the captive insurance agency system, which are carriers, just a carrier, Northwestern Mutual, MetLife, Prudential, these kinds of bigger carriers, okay? They have captive agents. Those agents, just like real estate brokers, can only work with them. So you can have, for those companies, each of those companies, you can sell them a platform for themselves. And in that platform, they could have 10, 12, some of these got 25,000 agents. You can just charge $5, $10 a month and let the company charge the balance of what they want to charge for people to have the platform. And you could have 50, 100, 200,000, $500,000 a month in monthly income with very little necessary support or anything. Now, that's the captive agency system. On the independent agency system, you can combine it. You could do a little model like you have with EXP and bring in 10, 15,000 agents yourself, have those agents on the platform, and at the same time, have the overall income from the production of those agents. But that's going to require some good training, development, and it's going to require some of the knowledge I think I can bring to the table for you. I mean, we can help develop and build a shop that could do 50 to 100 million in annual production and do that acquisition model. So I've got about 3 targets that you could look at for acquisition in the independent market. I think there may be some kind of connection with Goosehead because they could use a platform. I'm not saying it's a huge moneymaker, but it's probably worth a couple of $1 million in annual revenue with an organization like this. And there's many like this. This is only one. So you've got those 3 verticals. You've got the independent property and casualty vertical. You've got the independent life and health vertical, and you've got the captive life and health vertical. I don't think the captive property and casualty vertical is good, only because those companies are locally bound. They want their agents to stay local. They want their agents in a 3 to 5 mile radius. They don't want Allstate, State Farm, Nationwide. These kind of carriers, they don't want their agents tapping into someone else's territory. So their model, I don't think, would fit because they would. It's harder to sell them in the fact that no brick and mortar. I don't know that no brick and mortar would make sense for them in that sense. Okay, based on their business model. But hopefully, I don't want to belabor it, but I'm telling you, I've got a small board of guys we work with and gals, and we just added someone, and we're closing in on over 200 years experience now. We ourselves, past production is well over 150 million in life insurance premium, over 350 million in annuity premium. So we know what we're doing. We know the industry really well, and we also have a lot of contacts inside the industry. I could save a lot of time so that no one has to chase up the corporate ladder. We can get to the decision makers because we know them. And I think we can bring a lot of value to EXP Worldwide and help map out those verticals. Because I think if you stay in the 3 vertical lanes, you can develop each of those verticals into tens of millions of dollars in revenue, if not more. We can show that model. But again, thank you so much for your time. I've been back to Andrew. I had put a little bit of money in. I'm taking a small platform of this new platform for them. I'm taking a small one myself. We're building out a little bit on our agency side. We're trying to onesie and twosie it. And but I'm 65 years old in a couple of months, and I don't plan on retiring. But I also would like to kickstart something much faster than me dealing with 10, 15, 20 agents a month. I'd really like to get to the point where we're dealing with hundreds of agents a month and building something dramatically influential, changing the marketplace, as it were, making a big impact. And of course, I myself have the desire to package some serious wealth into the final stages that I can leave with my legacy and my family. So that's the story. And again, I thank you for this convenience. Now, I'm going to have financials for you from GSHD. It'll be right here on the screen. You can just tap that and you'll see the financials I pulled down for you. And if we can talk, I will tell you who the three targets are that I think we could seriously talk about acquisitions right away and move forward in building out these business models. So have a wonderful day. Thanks again for your time. And of course, you can reach me directly on the phone. If you'd like, just press in your number on that phone soft pad, and you can email me on the email button, and we can set up a time. Okay. Thanks again. I really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are. Have a wonderful day.